Good morning. Happy Saturday, happy Labor Day. Well, almost Labor Day. So the series that we'll do today is part of the continuing series. It's called Still Standing 2. It's a little bit like Home Alone 2, but not quite. And we'll be focusing on standing postures. But the challenge will be using our arms not as much as we might normally. And we want to see what happens when we draw more of our attention into the legs, really relying on the legs to do the work. I've been thinking about this class now for several weeks, and I've been looking at the way I use my arms in my practice, and there are often times where my arms do the work that I can't initiate from my core, and they override a certain kind of going inside and getting a little more gumption, because it's just so easy to reach and grab. And so I've been thinking about what would happen if the arms were not really being used, that I had to initiate more from the body. And I've been considering this in regard to something we may all feel to one extent or another, the inability to do things the way that we did normally, the inability to just roll on with our normal routine, and that part of our normal routine has been radically altered, potentially forever. So then with the resources that we have available to us, how do we use those resources wisely? And I was reminded quite recently of this notion of we're not here to fix things. We're here to enjoy the world fully. And so the question then is, how do we use the resources to reconnect with the innate capacity to experience the deepest qualities of love and joy available to us regardless of circumstance? And that asks a lot, right? Like to me, that's the inner school. So this is a silly little metaphor that we'll play with physically this morning. Let's try it, shall we? Let's come to child's pose on the mat. And we will stretch the arms out in front of us. Lay the forehead down on the mat or a block if it doesn't quite make it. Feel the breath move into the upper back, into the lungs. Spreading wide, spreading open. And then we'll slowly rise up into cat pose just for a moment. Tuck the toes under, rounding the back. Let the head and neck drop. Just a little stretch through the spine. Toes can be tucked under. Feeling into the spine. Good. It's not that there won't be any arm work. There will be some arm work. Let's take the right arm out to the side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right arm comes in underneath. Left hand might press. You might be on your fingertips. Just asking the breath to lengthen. And then rising back up. Right hand down, left arm out to the side and up. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Pressing into the left shoulder any amount. Good. And then we slowly rise back up. And spread your fingers wide apart. Feel the whole hand press into the ground. Let's tuck the toes under and send the hips up and back. Keep the knees bent first. Lengthen the spine. You can inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. And one more. Wonderful. And then let's walk forward as many steps as it takes. Place your hands on your shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. Lengthening. Exhale, releasing. And last one. Good, and then let's round up. So slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way up. Great. All right, so this is a morning practice, and I'm assuming that you haven't had much to eat this morning. Let's hope that's the case for our sake. If you have already eaten, then you can either skip this or just do it mildly, would you please? So what we'll do is my hands, fingers turn in. I'm placing them on the inner thighs. I'm going to inhale through the nose. Exhale the breath out and keep the breath out. Then draw the navel into the spine. Relax the belly. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. Navel to spine. Relax when you need to. Inhale. Exhale. Take it all the way out. The whole abdominal wall. Flush back. And then soften the belly. Inhale. And exhale. So just waking up the core a little bit. Let's slowly rise up. Let's come to the top of the mat. Palms in prayer position. Soften the joints just a little bit. Fluid body. Connect from the heels through the top of the head. Good. Gayatri mantra. If you know it, please join me. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om. We'll send the arms all the way up. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, folding forward, out, and down. Inhale, we'll lengthen the spine. Exhale, we'll place the palms down and step the legs back. So we're in plank pose, waking up the whole body, pushing through the heels. You feel the whole front body lifting upward. My mom is visiting me right now. She's 86, and she's really in quite good health. And we were talking about how as we get older, we often try to avoid doing things that end up being really good for our bodies, like climbing stairs, for example, she was saying. And that how important she's found to continue to do the things that we might start to not really want to do. The right knee comes down, the left leg comes on top, with the sole of the foot down, the left arm goes up. So in some respects, more engagement rather than less. Intelligent engagement. I think that's the game of living for a while. We inhale, exhale, left arm down, left knee down, right leg back. Draw the shoulders away from your ears. Press into the sole of the right foot. Inhale, Exhale, the right hand slowly lowers, the right knee comes down, left leg back again, and if you wish to go on, you can do the same posture or wish to go on full Vasisthasana, squeeze legs. Consider the midline all the way up through the top of the head. Reach up out of the left arm. And right knee can be down here. We inhale, exhale, slowly lower left hand to the ground. Let's come to the other side. We're drawing a bow on the way up. Hips are a little higher than you might think. Watching the breath. Inhale, exhale, right hand slowly lowers. We might bring the knees to the floor or lower through. Inhale, cobra or upward dog if you know it. And exhale back over the toes, downward facing dog. Let's walk back and forth a little bit. Just create a little malleability, if that's a word. Malleability, malleable calves and Achilles tendons, drawing inner heel and outer heel downward. Remember that exercise we did, drawing the navel to the spine as we lift the pelvis up and back. And then let's sweep the right leg back behind us so the hips are square here. Inhale, exhale, draw the thigh to the rib cage and just place the foot down lightly if possible. And we slowly rise up into a high lunge position. You might take your hands to your hips first, sinking. Okay, so arms. We'll take them behind our back and we'll grasp the elbows if that's possible. Some of us might take the palms in prayer position up the back. Sinking in. There's a little bit of internal rotation happening at the shoulders, right? In order to bring the arms back behind us, you turn the arms down, the thumbs down. And we inhale here. Exhale. Now place your torso down on your right thigh. Take the back leg off now and come into warrior three, please. As we extend through the pointed left foot, reaching from the foot through the top of the head. Inhale, exhale. When you land your left foot, have it be a little shorter than it was when you came in. Feel a heel-heel connection and just look at your hips for a moment. They're square. They're in the same plane. We inhale, lift front spine. Exhale, fold forward towards your right pinky toe. And then focus your gaze where it falls naturally and release the head and neck. And we feel into what it's like to be here in this posture. Probably the glutes and the right hip are opening a little bit. Both big toes are down and steady. And then let's rise back up. Inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee again, back to warrior three. And we're going to play with, I hate this analogy, but I use it every time, like an oil rig off of Santa Barbara. The top leg extends up as high as it'll go as we draw our face down toward the floor. And we're playing with balance, relying on the legs, relying on the core. And then bend your right knee, set the left foot down, way back behind you. Sole of the left foot is down. Inhale, rise up. Send the arms up now, warrior one. Root through the sole of your left foot. We just notice that one side. Sometimes, well, I don't know about you, but I will use my arms to get places with the forward fold With the extension, we want to have steady, steady body, which really comes from the legs and the core. Good, inhale, exhale, release the arms, place them on your hips. Let's turn, pivot. Look down at your feet are parallel with each other. We'll keep the hands on the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold at the hip crease. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Let the top of the head come toward the floor. Shoulders move away from the ears. If you've locked your knees, relax there a little bit. And feel the connection of the four corners of your feet pressing into the ground. You could lift all 10 toes off and widen them. Spread your breath liberally along the upper lungs. Good, then squeeze your feet in toward each other. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, we'll pivot ourselves to the back of the mat. We'll use the arms, hands down, left leg back, lower through, or meet in downward dog. Settling the body, settling the breath. Watching the breath. Noticing the sensations in the body. Good, now let's take left leg up and back. We keep the hips square. We can come up onto the ball of the right foot. Inhale, exhale. Thigh touches ribs if possible. Foot lands lightly. We'll keep the back heel off as we gradually rise up and sink down. Just ask for a little space along the front of the right hip flexors. Let's take the arms back behind us, grasping elbows or sliding palms in toward each other. Inhale, exhale, set the belly down on the thigh. Here we go, back leg comes off as if it were an arm, reaching up and back. Inhale, exhale, bend your left knee, the right foot lands, it's not quite as far away. You've got a heel-heel connection here, your hips are square. Inhale, take your breath into top chest. Exhale, fold forward at the hip crease this time, toward your left pinky toe. And feel the strength of the legs. Deepening the hip creases. Relaxing upper body a little bit. Now feel your feet root as you inhale, rise back up. Exhale, bend your left knee. Okay, we take the back leg off like we're coming to warrior three, but we're pointing the toes. We might bend the left knee first. We'll fold forward. This is more like a standing split, but without the use of the arms. Wow. Using the glutes. We inhale, exhale, set the right foot down way back behind you. Gradually now release the arms, extend the arms up, and feel the support of your legs. And grow the warrior one. Good. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Place your hands now down on your hips. Good. Turn, pivot. Your feet are parallel with each other. Let's interlace the fingers behind the back now. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, folding forward. Head and neck soft. Face soft. Blades draw in toward each other. Hips are high. Lift the pelvis upward as you root downward. Wonderful. Now hands come back to the hips. Pull your feet in toward each other as you inhale, come up. Exhale, hands back to the front of the mat, right leg back, meet in downward dog or take the vinyasa. Good, and then steady and stable. Imagine pulling the front of your shins back toward your calves. And then same with the quadriceps, big muscles along the front of the thighs. Pull them back. Yeah. Good. Now we take the right leg up and back this time. We'll stack the hips. Reaching up. Keep the right leg straight if you would. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. And then right thigh touches rib cage if it can. You might even kiss the knee. And then right foot between the hands. Left heel comes to the ground. Slowly we come up. Okay, so we've got the arms out here. Let's take the arms now back, grasping the elbows or palms in prayer position. You may notice in both cases that it's quite easy to just let the rib cage pop forward here. See if you can keep this engagement, ribs and hips. Yeah. Sinking, sinking. Feel your back foot press. And then maybe come forward just a little bit, as if we were going into side angle posture. Find the connection between the back heel and the top of the head. Yes, good. And then inhale, come up. And reverse warrior, you notice how reverse warrior is so much about the arms, the way we feel in this posture. Extending. Extending to the extent that we can extend. You might even imagine the arms lengthening upward. Good, now let's straighten the right leg. Some of you will want to walk your back foot in just a little bit. You could take a very wide-legged triangle pose. We inhale here. Exhale, reach forward. Draw the femur bones right at the top in toward each other. And then extending. There's a choice to make here. Some of us like to have this left hip down as we fold over the right leg. And some of us stack the hips as we fold forward. Notice this morning what seems to feel best for you. What is best? Gives you the potential for opening is probably best. Steady the gaze. Then bend your right knee slightly, slowly rise up. Okay, some of us know where this is going. We're going to take the back foot off the ground and it's going to be half moon pose. So we bend the right knee and play with taking the left leg up and turning left hip on top of right. Rib cage turns, gaze is steady. Reach through both feet. Inhale, exhale, lightly land the back foot. And then straighten the right leg. Turn, toes out, heels in, sit down. This looks like a day of the Asana, goddess pose, with arms tied behind back. Sinking, sinking. Yep. This is a curious posture because it's very easy to go heavy into the lumbar spine, right? You can feel the pelvis back behind you. See if you can keep that same sense of being tubular here. And then slowly we rise up. There's arms. Take the hands to the ground through a vinyasa or meet in downward dog. Watching the breath. Inner resources are vast. They are vast. In order to access inner resources, we have to go beyond the normal habitual way of thinking. Since most of our thinking is simply caused by a series of habits, that means digging a little bit. You take the left leg up, stacking the hips. Reach back. Inhale. Exhale. Side of rib cage, maybe a kiss of the knee. Foot lands lightly, back heel pivots, and we rise up. Just feel the innate habit. There's a pleasure and extension here, isn't there? Okay, take the arms back behind you, maybe palms in prayer position, maybe grasp the elbows the other way. Settle in. Yeah, getting our legs, what does that mean to us? Feel the feet move in toward each other a little bit for a little more stability. Feel as though the pelvis is pretty even and the spine is long. I should say vertical. And then gradually tip a little bit and push into your back foot. Notice that the sit bones can draw together a little bit, just a little bit, to help lengthen through the front spine. Yeah, into the legs, getting our legs. And then slowly rise up, reverse. May not feel as satisfying as usual, but going where we don't go is, well, it's tough because it's a habit that we want to get into. Where do we not normally want to go, especially inside ourselves? Because therein the treasure lies. Now we slowly rise back up. You might walk your back foot in slightly. For your triangle pose, both legs straight. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the left femur bone deep into the pelvis. As you extend. Yeah, interesting discovery here. What's it like? A lot of us use the left hand heavy on the shin or ankle, and now this is not available. So check here too what's happening at the rib cage juncture with the front hips. Good, and then gradually we rise up enough to take the back leg off and lifting and stacking one hip on top of the other. Calming the left big toe. Yeah. Good. We inhale, exhale, slowly lower the right foot. Pause here in Devyasana again, sinking. Oh, wow. All right, so definitely using some muscles that we don't normally. Accessing places in the body. We're going to take the left leg long, right knee bends a little. Some of you will come down quite naturally here, so the right sit bone comes to the right heel. We want to do it without the use of the arms today. So feeling for yourself, if you have knee issues, careful. We'll come to the other side. Where will it go? And each time we come through, playing with how low can we go without using the arms. Yes, exploring new lands here. Wonderful. Now we'll come through center. We'll take the hands now to the floor, the right leg back behind us, and slowly lower down onto the belly. And let's rest our cheek on our hands. Feeling what there is to feel here right now. No stone left unturned. So very thorough in our observation. And very present in our observation so that our observation doesn't go into story, but we stay in felt experience. This is one of the very special things about the yoga practice, the asana practice, is that it does help us feel and witness what we're feeling in a way that no other practice I know of does like this. We take the arms back behind us now, of course. The palms face up. The chest lifts off, as do the legs. You might separate your toes wide apart, push through the balls of your feet. Watch as the body rises and then falls just a little bit. Use the inhale to help support the lift. And then gradually down we come, resting on the cheek once again. Now we'll bend the knees. This is a classic posture where we'll often go grabbing the ankles right away, yeah? Take your thighs off. Push the feet up toward the ceiling to whatever extent you can, as if you were to reach back, but don't grab them. You see how the arms enable us so much. Use your legs for the lift. Draw navel to spine. Three more breaths. And then down we come, resting on the other cheek. Usually there's a great enjoyment that comes right after the stress. We just relax in. Now let's take the hands under the shoulders, back through child's pose just for a moment. Let's tuck the toes under. And we'll rest here. We've got the knees bent. We'll rest here, palms in prayer position, lengthening the spine and drawing the inner thighs in toward each other. And then can you place the heels down on the ground or thereabouts and slowly rise back up, come to a standing position. Pausing in mountain pose. Okay, so back to this business of not really using the arms very much. Place your weight onto the sole of your left foot and draw the right knee in toward the chest to whatever extent you can without using your hands to pull in. Then place your foot against the ankle, the calf, or the thigh. Is it possible to do it without using the arms? We'll take the arms like cactus this morning. Draw a midline, steady your gaze. All right, take your right knee forward, cross the right leg over the left leg. Is that possible? Some of you will bring the foot around the ankle. Take your arms now behind your back, find your elbows. If you fall out, as we do, we begin again. And then straighten left leg. Draw the right knee once again into the chest. Bring the palms in prayer position. Can you turn your torso to the right without hooking the elbow? How far over can you get that twist? And then the right foot lands. Pause in mountain pose. Still standing. Still standing too. Feeling the difference between the left side and the right side and everything that happened there as we steady our awareness in present moment. It's one of the reasons balance poses are so great. Right foot down. Left thigh draws in. Where does it go on its own? Steady breath, steady gaze. Good. Lift it up as high as it'll go for today. And then plant your foot along your leg. See if you can do it without the arms. We'll go for the cactus arms. Anywhere along the leg except for the knee joint. And then left leg crosses. We bend the right knee a little bit, squeeze to midline. Arms might come behind the back. Notice the deepest place in your abdomen, just above your pelvis. Steady right there. Might sink in a little bit deeper. And then rise up. Yeah, left knee draws in, and we turn the torso to the left. It's like we take the belly button and we move it to the left. Exploring where we don't normally go. Coming back to center, release left foot, good mountain pose. Might close the eyes, pause and feel. Extending through fingertips. Yes, wonderful. Okay, so we come back to the front of the mat. Let's take the legs, the arms all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, let's take the legs back behind us, either downward dog or lower through. And settle into the dog. Feeling the breath. Now we'll send the right leg up and back, the hips are square.
Inhale. Exhale, draw the thigh in close to the rib cage and land your foot. And we'll keep the back heel off and rise up into a lunge. So this next series could feel very, I shouldn't tell you what you'll feel. But if you feel challenged, there's a chance that you will, because we use our arms in these next postures quite a bit. So first, come down deep. Take arms back behind you. You choose how you want them. Fold forward, push back through your heel. Then can you turn and pivot your torso toward the right? Draw your sit bones in toward each other. The outer hips draw together. See where you can go here. And then come back to center. Now here we go. We're going to take the back leg off the ground again in Warrior 3. And any amount, and I do mean any amount, we will twist the torso to the right. So normally we place the left hand down on a block. We want to just see if we can keep the hips buoyant and in the same plane and turn the rib cage to the right. Then land your left foot, not quite as far back as before. You've got about a 3 to 3.5 foot space between your heels. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, folding forward. Both legs are straight. And again, we turn the torso to the right, however much. And this is where it can feel really not very satisfying at all. We're not probably going very far without the arms, but so important here. You can see how it's so easy to just use the arms in a posture like this to forego the hips, the pelvis, and the legs. We inhale, rise up, turn, pivot, take your hands to the ground, downward dog or lower through. Inhale, exhale back. Steady the breath, steady the gaze. And we relax our ideas about where we should go, our attachment to how it should feel. We send now the left leg up and back. The hips are level. Inhale. Exhale, thigh forward, foot lands. It's a lunge. We rise up. Sink in. Arms back. Come forward. Push back through your heel. And then turn the rib cage toward the left, like the liver is moving toward the spleen. And then we come right back up. Inhale. Exhale. Back leg comes forward. Yes, left big toe is down. Reach back through your right heel. Gaze is steady, and then if you wish, see if you can experiment with turning the torso to the left, keeping the right leg lifted. Then slowly land your right foot. It's closer now. Heel-heel alignment. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold at the hip crease. Strong legs. Coming down and then turning the rib cage to the left. Using the legs. And then feel your feet root. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale, turn, pivot. Take the hands to the ground. Right leg back, downward facing dog. Into child's pose we go.
Hands under the shoulders, and we slowly rise up. Okay, so we'll take the legs wide apart, and we're seated now. Some of us might want to have something under the sit bones if the hamstrings, if the knees are bent. It's nice to get a little bit of height here. First, of course, no arms. Plant your sit bones. Reach through your heels and fold forward where you can without the arms. So what a time we're in, you know, this so much we can't change individually. And then slowly rise up. And so many new challenges to work with. Keep your sit bones rooted. Now we'll turn the rib cage again to the left, and then fold forward to the extent we can over the right leg. So making friends with limitations becomes very important. Developing, it becomes even more important. It was always important. Developing a relationship with limitation, and then keep the left sit bone rooted. Inhale, come up. Exhale, now we turn to the right. Notice nothing's changed in the legs. And then fold at the left hip crease. And continue to turn to the right. And see where this one will go. Anchor your right sit bone. And this image that I've been working with around, I have a friend who lost his leg from the knee down in a car accident, and many of us have friends who are amputees, have had something amputated, yet they're their person, they're the same human being. They have an experience sometimes of the leg still being there, and they feel the nervous system express itself in the parts of the body that are no longer there. But I've been thinking about how much could be taken away, and yet we would still be there. You know, who is it that we call ourselves? And if most of what we call ourselves is a series of habits and patterns and identities that we formed, which it is, you know, then what's possible if we let go a little bit of some of those habits, patterns, and identities? We inhale, come up. You know, we have this infinite resource available to us, and so much creativity possible. Soles of the feet come together, knees go wide. Same deal. Check this out. Press your feet in, see what happens. Lengthen through the spine. You know, that infinite resource is available to us if we're willing to let go of some of the habits, mostly habits of thinking. And in order to let go of them, we have to be able to see that they're there. And this is why we practice awareness, practice being aware of what's in here and the way we respond. So we can become very, very familiar and make friends with the habits that we formed. So they don't have us as much. We become knowledgeable of them. Now we bring the left knee forward. Question is, will the right foot sit on the inside of the left shin, or will it come around the outside? And then both sit bones root, and can we turn and twist? Feel the sole of your right foot. Use what's available to you well. And we slowly unwind.
and right knee forward and left foot on the inside or the outside. Press left sole, turn, pivot, and enjoy the journey even if it doesn't feel quite as satisfying. Good, and then we unwind that, and let's slowly find our way down onto our backs, please. Feet press. Actually, let's pause here because we should take a boat pose. Always a boat. We do take the hands to the thighs for a moment, and then we're honest about it. What works best? If we release the arms, best to have the knees bent or straighten the legs, keeping the spine long. I bet you're feeling your legs now. And then palms in prayer position. Let's come down slowly. Ever so slowly. Point your toes, zip up your midline, and then let's land lying back. Arms beside us, feeling in. Watching the breath and watching thought. So generally in the awareness practice, we begin by learning to observe the breath. We hear that in yoga all the time. And then observe sensation. And then can we observe thought without getting involved in the thought? Because this is key to making friends with the habits and the patterns. And then having some room to choose something different. Let's bring one knee at a time into the chest. Send the legs straight up. We might take the arms wide. Now let's take happy baby for a moment, drawing the thighs as close to the rib cage as we can without grasping the feet. See if we can create that same sort of experience. I bet you it's not that similar. Let the tailbone release downward. And then pushing the legs away. So we're straightening the legs however much they'll straighten. Drawing the feet out and toward the floor. Good, draw the legs back up. Let's cross the right leg over the left leg. Set the left foot down. Allow the legs to travel out to the right. Landing, pausing, shoulder blades down. Inhale, we come back up. Crossing, left leg over right. Good. Pushing the right foot into the ground any amount. Lengthening across the right side. Looking now to the right. Inhale, come back up to center. We will take bridge pose. This practice with the arms behind the body has been really good for those of us who spent a lot of time at the computer this week because we're doing a lot of work around the chest, opening the chest. So feet press, your fingers could graze the ankles. Slide the blades in underneath. Press upper arm bones into the ground so your fingertips turn up. Draw chest toward chin slightly. And if you wish to go on, the right foot moves to midline. We keep the hips level, at least that's the idea, as the left leg extends up, toes pointed, reaching up. And the left foot lands. Bring the left foot into midline. Right leg extends. And right knee bends, and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, take your heels off. Let's land. Soles of the feet together, knees go wide. Pause and feel. And we retreat our awareness back into, almost like into the back body, just witnessing what's here. All of what's here. Even what's difficult. Interlace your fingers now behind your head. Thumbs draw down. And we'll move the legs to the right as we move the upper chest and the elbow, the right elbow to the right, well, both elbows to the right. Almost as if the right elbow and the right knee could touch. And then we inhale and come back through midline, coming to the other side. See if left elbow, left knee can touch. And then back to the right. And to the left. Let's do this a couple more times. It's a little squeeze. Good. Okay, two more. And then coming back to center, release the legs long, the arms long, pause. Feeling subtle, subtle sensations, noticing the breath. Walk your feet in. Actually, let's take care of one other thing first. Keep the legs long, point the toes, and then walk the legs over to the left. Send the arms up and move your upper chest to the left like a big banana. Extend through the right side. You could take your left hand around your right wrist and pull a little bit. Feel your whole body pretty flush to the floor. And then legs now all the way over to the right, as far as they'll go. Walk the upper back over to the right. Right hand around left wrist. Notice the left side. And then gradually come back onto the back. Okay, so for this one, we can either inhale, lift the hips up off the ground and interlace the fingers behind the back now into a fist. Draw the upper arm bones down into the floor and the fist down into the floor. The right foot could come to midline and we could lift the left leg up. If you wish to go to wheel from bridge, hands under shoulders, now we'll use the arms. Press into feet. Inhale, come up onto the top of the head. Look at your arms, they're parallel with each other. Then inhale, we open. We open, we draw the chest over the wrists if possible, pressing into the feet. And if you're in bridge with one leg up, switch your legs now. Okay, so we all inhale, exhale, down we come. Soles of the feet together, knees wide again, arms beside us. Pause and feel. Like we have eyes and ears all over the body and we're completely aware. Of the transient nature of breath, sensation, thought, and emotion. Now this time, happy baby, but we can use our hands, drawing the feet downward. Little release in the lower back. Shoulders remain soft. Breath is open across the collarbone area. Jaw is soft. Face is soft. Then release the legs. Take the legs so the feet are down as if we were coming back to bridge, but we're not. Hips lift up, the arms slide in underneath, the quintessential arms behind your back posture. Straighten your legs. Press into your forearms, lift your chest. Lift your heart. Extend through the throat, all the way through the throat. Point the toes. Feel the connection between heart and mouth. Inhale and exhale, releasing, coming down onto the back. Let's just lay down here, legs to the floor. Send the arms out. Close the eyes. Resting the body downward. And we watch with the eyes and ears all over the body, imagining that were the case. Making friends with everything we find. So this is pretty much a love poem by the great Hafiz. Now is the time to know that all you do is sacred. Now, why not consider a lasting truce with yourself and God? Now is the time to understand that all your ideas of right and wrong were just a child's training wheels to be laid aside when you finally live with veracity and love. My dear, please tell me, why do you still throw sticks at your heart and God? What is it in that sweet voice inside that incites you to fear? Now is the time for the world to know that every thought and action is sacred. This is the time for you to compute the impossibility that there is anything but grace. Now is the season to know that everything you do is sacred. So we take a few deeper breaths. Remembering that our inner resources are vast. And that whatever it is that we're looking for, we can provide for ourselves by reaching a little deeper inside and pulling it out like a rabbit out of a hat.
drawing the knees in toward the chest. We wrap the arms around the legs. We give ourselves a hug. And we roll to one side. And whatever merits that we have gained from this practice, let's pass them on right now to those who need support and love, health, healing, steadiness. And gradually we make our way up to a comfortable seat. Just pause here inside the body. We think about, well, how many times during a day do we just pause and feel what's taking place inside? We make that a habit. Habit replacement, that's what this work is all about. Let's draw the palms together at the heart. One Om Mani Padme Hum. If you know it, please join me. Om Mani Padme to the forehead, right thought. May we be steady. May we be present. May we be joyful. May hands come to the mouth, right speech. May our words improve upon the silence. And our hands come to our heart, right action. May we be the change that we wish to see. Namaste. Okay, here we are. It's September. It's another Saturday. So glad you're still with me. Thank you very much. So please look on the Breathe Together website. I am beginning a program next Monday. It's a mentorship program, and I've said it's for the 300, but if you've got a project in your heart that you really want to execute on and a little bit of support around it, because we've got to dig in deep into those inner resources, look at it, see if it's something you want to do. I think there are 6 spaces available right now. And the meditation series begins again, I want to say it's around the 20th. You'll have to look on the site, mid-September. And we're looking at all of the evidence-based research around alleviating physical pain and emotional pain. It will run through the fall, and it's part of a larger program that I will announce shortly. All right, so love you. Take care of yourselves. Hope to see you soon.